Well, one of the other big issues at COP26 has been the transition to renewable energy. India has been pitching for a transnational grid to share solar power with the UK and other countries. But can that really meet the energy needs of the Indian population? The BBC's Devina Gupta has more.
कितना time लगेगा?
For Guddu Khan, getting electricity from the sun didn't seem possible until 3 years ago when he bought his home in Kakrala village on the outskirts of Delhi. With no source of electricity, he turned to solar power.
Light तो यहाँ थी नहीं, हमने सोचा
I bought my home, but there was no provision of electricity here because it is an unplanned cluster. So I started thinking of alternatives. I saw a video about solar energy on YouTube and contacted the local vendors to install it. I had to save up nearly $300, but it was worth it.
Just like him, at least 800 homes in this village have installed solar panels to generate power. Some have invested in bigger solar panels that store more electricity and can even power air conditioner during the hot summer months.
The only problem is during rainy days, when we have to cut down on our daily usage because less power is generated and we have to use whatever is stored in the battery.
Over 80% of power generated in India comes from fossil fuels. India has an ambitious target of achieving 450 gigawatts of renewable energy by 2030. And solar power forms a crucial part of that plan. While many consumers are making that shift, the road ahead is still quite difficult.
34-year-old Amol has been trying for the past 3 years to tap into the demand for rooftop solar panels and says it's a tough market.
सोलर में जो सबसे बड़ा चैलेंज आता है
We need investments to scale up. But in today's economy, it's difficult to get credit. Then 90% of our raw material comes from China. And with changing political ties, we are facing severe shortage of solar cells and panels.
The Indian government has recently earmarked nearly $500 million to ramp up production of solar components in the country. And 16 companies, including the big titans like oil-to-energy conglomerate Reliance Industries, are in the race to build these factories.
The next couple of years, you'll start seeing a lot of new capacities coming up in India, and that will actually give India the opportunity of emerging as an alternative supply chain to China, which I think is very important, especially given now all the risk issues of having all your eggs in one basket, as it were.
Now, the next challenge for India is to ensure those in cities and villages can afford to use solar power so that renewable energy can have its moment under the sun here. Devina Gupta, BBC News, Delhi.
Such a difficult dilemma for developing countries like India, who are trying to balance the needs of economic growth with battling climate change.